Hi Shankar, hi Raju. How are you
Hi,
guys
hi.
doing?
Hi, Nag.
Yeah, so nice to catch up on video. I know that our batch WhatsApp group is quite active and many of us have been keeping in touch through that. We were all students, then alumni, batch of 81. And now, of course, the two of you are distinguished alumni with a capital D and a capital A. So what's been it like? I mean, what's it been like? I mean, how do you trace your journey? What are your memories of IIT Madras days and life after IIT Madras? Raju, why don't you go first?
Oh, let Shankar go first. So
Okay.
let me prepare. I haven't even thought about it. So go ahead, Shankar.
Hi, Shankar.
So I was, we went for a morning walk, a couple of friends this morning, and we were talking about coincidentally, talking about early days. And I was reflecting on basically OAT, I think, was a central theme of entertainment at IIT. There was nothing much else. And the early dinner and the Nakrabaji on the way to the OAT, the hierarchy in seating, which, on looking back, it sounds very crazy, but there was a strict hierarchy in seating, who could sit where. And I remember we progressively moved down to the senior rows, carrying your pillows with you, sitting in the rain. Those are some things that I really cherish. And all the unruliness of a movie watching experience there. So I guess, Raju, over to
Yeah.
you.
For me, I would say it was basketball and sports, and particularly inter-IIT sports. Winning the 10th consecutive inter-IIT, I was the sports secretary of the institute at that time. And believe it or not, I learned so much about game theory and probabilities because this was a game. You just don't win. So we had to get the hockey team to go and lose so that we can win the overall championship. So that's the kind of fun stuff that was there. But overall, the friends that I made, the memories of sitting in different spots within IIT, such a beautiful campus, and all the facility that were there, that I'm truly grateful, and I hope all of us continue to enjoy it as and when we get to the campus.
So Raju, life after IIT Madras, the path that you took, what was it like? How did your IIT Madras stay influence it?
Yeah, I would say that I found the leadership and management skill in IIT when I organized the Gerard Fisher basketball tournament and took it a national tournament. And fundraising for that, those were great experiences. And when I graduated, I went into Cadbury's, and again, it was an entrepreneurial journey in Kashmir. Then subsequently, I moved to the US, and there again, I worked for a great company called EDS. There again, the entrepreneurial skill that I developed and the ability to work in a team, to collaborate and work with people and bring out the best. I would say the technological background also, the ability to think in multiple dimension, which is what I think the fundamentals of any engineering education is, that also helped me connect the dots and build the future employee or a leadership person in companies, or subsequently an entrepreneur building my own business. The foundation was very much laid in my days in IIT, and it was a multi-dimensional one. It was not purely academic. It was the experiences that I had with professors, interactions that I had with our then director PV Indiresan. So I would say that those really helped quite a lot.
Yeah, Shankar, over to you.
So, Raju, hit the spot and said it better than I ever could have. I think for me, moving on from IIT immediately to IIM Calcutta and so on, so there was no intervening period where I worked. But and so the true value of the IIT education, which is, as Raju said, the training to think in a particular structured manner. I think that is the fundamental of engineering education, and more so IIT education. That I think helped me a lot and really underpinned my entire career thereafter. Whether it was in Ponds, which was a very entrepreneurial organization, all young managers in their late 20s, early 30s, creating a great new business, or thereafter when I set out on my own. I think this training that I got from IIT education was really fundamental to what I became as a human being thereafter. Yeah.
So, both of you continue to work quite closely with IIT Madras. Both of you spend time on campus. Both of you contribute back to your alma mater in so many ways. How do you feel the institute is different today from the time that we were students?
Okay. You want me to go first, or?
Go ahead, Raju.
Yeah.
I would say that the campus has maintained its serenity and beauty and the nature, and yet it has grown. It is such a treat to see now. I'm just giving one example of the many great things that have happened in the campus is the research park. Although it is a separate entity, it is pretty much driven by the entire faculty and the director of the institute. The alumni coming together to raise money and create fund, and the kind of network that has been created. I really applaud the way all of you, now you have been very instrumental in building the alumni network globally. And I would say that academically, I'm sure we are doing very, very well. But when I look at it, it is not just the academics, but it is that pride in the alma mater is preserved. And the institute has changed in many ways. When you look at anything that is technologically real, such as solar, the campus with the network, even the messes have now been centralized, and we still continue to have the buses with the mountains names running. So I feel very good. The hostels are getting better. They need a little bit more upkeep, but for the kind of growth that the institute has had, I would say that it has been a commendable job that has been done by the deans and the directors in providing the direction. And above all, there is still we maintain that free thinking. I don't see too much of politicization in the organization. So I would say overall we are achievement oriented and goal oriented while developing the minds of young children who come in.
Shankar?
Yes,
in many ways, going first is an advantage in these things.
Next one you're going.
Before I get a chance to say it, but yeah, it is true. I think the great thing about IIT then and now is the integrity of the entire process in IIT, the educational process, the management process, all the processes associated with education. There is absolute integrity there of purpose. There is, as he says, absolutely no politicization. There is no favoritism. So it's a true meritocracy, and that appeals greatly to me. There is also a great deal of competence amongst the faculty, amongst the other staff who work there. And so it's a rare combination of integrity of purpose and competence coming together. Very rare to find in a country like India. And the fact that we've managed to keep that going for like 30, 40, 50 years now since I have been there, I think that pleases me no end. I also am thrilled to see the new crop of students. They are far more worldly than we were at that age. They understand exactly what the world is all about in manners that we never understood when we joined the institute. They are just far more grown up than we were at that age. And that means that they're able to really get the best out of what the institute has to offer. And it also probably means that when we go back to them and after they become alumni and ask them for their support, I think that they'll be far more oriented towards helping the alma mater because they understand the value that they're getting out of it, and I'm sure they will want to give back. So now I sort of echo what Raju said about your seminal contribution, really bringing alumni relations from basically zero to what it is now. We are probably the most mature in terms of alumni relations in Indian large institutions here today in India. So great job done there.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Um, by the way, one big change on campus is that we are now predominantly a postgraduate campus. I mean, the PG students exceed UGs in number. Do you think is that a trend that you think is healthy for IITs, or would you have rather kept their undergraduate character as an alumnus?
You empathize with the what you were growing up. I think taking young minds and shaping them, I think appeals to me, should appeal to any educator. And in that sense, getting raw, school graduates and shaping them into sort of good, well-thinking, ethical human beings, which is what the BTech degree does, I think appeals a lot to me. I understand that it is important to also focus on the post-graduation to build the institution's own track record into research and stuff like that. Probably, at least in those days, the postgraduates used to stay a lot more in India than the undergraduates. So in that sense, it was good for India as well. But I think that we've gone far enough in terms of the ratio. I think the present ratio is good, and we should sort of not make it further postgraduate than it is now.
Sure. Raju, your thoughts?
No, I think it's a good idea to develop it. I echo again what Shankar said. I think shaping the young minds in such a beautiful campus with some great people in the campus, that should continue to increase in number while the percentage of postgrads can increase, because I really think that that is the key. And the number of departments, if you see, I'm really impressed with the biomedical work that is going on there. And I hope one day we can even become a true medical college and start recruiting medical students and shape them. Because I think the way IITs have shaped engineers, the medical schools can learn. And even an undergrad program in med school would be the dream that I would have in 30, 50 years. Many engineering institutes have moved towards medical colleges also worldwide. So that might be some nice add-on.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's certainly a lot more interdisciplinary research and also interdisciplinary teaching these days. So both within IIT Madras as well as with other institutions, including international universities and so on. So I do think that we are heading in that direction. So, all of us are, of course, young at heart, but do you have any advice for chronologically younger alumni, those that have graduated in the past decade, those who are graduating this year, especially because it's a very unusual year? Raju, you have any words of advice for young alumni?
Young alumni, particularly graduating in the COVID era, my sincere advice is the world is changed and you are the first batch that is going to do it. So be fearless, dream big, and grab opportunities and believe in yourself that you can make a significant impact in this world. And I also think that this COVID and the change that we are seeing is going to benefit India long term. We will go through some tough times. So don't sit and cry. People like us cannot be complaining. I think we need to think out of the box and show our true character and figure out how we can not only help our own families to become richer and happier, but also how we can make a small but somewhat a significant impact, if possible, in any of your chosen field. I wish you the very best, and I'm sure that you will make each and every one of us very, very proud in the years to come.
Shankar?
So, since Raju has spoken specifically to the cohort of this year, perhaps and next year, in relation to COVID, I will speak generally to younger alumni, even those who will join in years to come. Which is that I think the college effect, the alumnus effect is very large in the US. It is not so large in India. I do believe that your cohort, which is your batch and perhaps a batch below and above you, is a very, very profound influence on you, not only during your time in the institute, but they will be a source of support to you in your life thereafter. And at least in my generation, we did not factor it into our career plans, I suppose, or in our growth plans. But I think going forward, it is important for the cohorts to keep in touch, for students to reach out to members of their cohort for any help, assistance, advice as necessary, and make the cohort a truly collegial organization even after we leave college. I think a little bit of attention on that on the part of the graduating students would be of great value to them in future. And it is, as Raju says, tough times for a couple of years. I wish everybody all the very best, and we alumni are always there to help you if you need anything from us.
Right. So thank you, Raju and Shankar, for joining this short conversation. So let's end by maybe
All together.
Hurrah for IIT Madras, I for IITM. That seems to be the slogan.
Okay.
So what together?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. I for IITM.
IITM. Yeah.